Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good 2 a.m. to Australia. That's crazy. Hi. AspiriFridays number 4, everybody. We have now been doing this for a month, which is horrific.
Not canceled yet.
I know, we haven't gotten canceled yet. And nobody's like yelled at us. It's kind of scary. We have a very exciting episode today. We are actually going to do more aspiring in an existing aspired app. That I've actually used this app too, which is cool. But first, I have a surprise for David and Damian.
Uh-oh.
And
I mean, ooh, what is it?
Yeah, it's not.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I am a good Microsoft employee, and so I like to use our tools, but I also like to use other tools when I have spare time to try them out. And I was really interested in the Claude CLI because it's awesome. It's very cool. And I'm doing the Aspire CLI stuff. So I thought I would vibe code something. What I decided to vibe code was a bingo board.
Oh, look at this.
And it's actually live. So Tommaso and Fritz had joked about this. Tommaso, who's one of our Italian cloud solution architects, who is a big Aspire fan. And Fritz and I had Jeff Fritz, C-Sharp Fritz, we had joked about it on Twitter. On Blue Sky, we skeeted about it. And so this is what I did Monday night. When I was complaining about JavaScript in our group text of the three of us, it was for this. And now Tommaso has already contributed like an admin situation with some SignalR, which I didn't merge or deploy yet. But there is, in fact, a bingo board you can all now use to follow along. And I pulled out the most common things of the past couple weeks, including my favorite is Fowler when he goes, wait. So the second you do that today, that is a check on the bingo board.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And you can actually download things. So like you can download your bingo. There's an animation. I'm not going to spoil it. But you can like download your bingo board and skeet it or whatever. So I'm very proud of that. I was sitting on my couch. I was playing Candy Crush. I was watching the Pacers and I was burning Claude tokens. That's what I did Monday night.
Who needs the New York Times crossword when I've got the Aspirified bingo board?
Oh my God, we should do connections now. No, so fake Ray-Bans, happy 2 a.m. I actually did make this in JavaScript because we're trying to improve the JavaScript Aspire experience. And the only way for me to confidently have opinions about that is to use JavaScript. And it is horrifying. So anyways, I'm Maddy. Hi, everybody. Welcome to AspiriFriday 4. I have the Damian and the Fowler here to the Council of Aspirations, if you will, to further Aspirify Ed's app. And so Ed, the hexmaster, if you've known his blog, one of the organizers of Techorama and many other conferences, a great MVP. We saw him at Summit. He made a very funny video making fun of .NET Conf, which was great. And it made me laugh a lot. Yeah, Ed, how else do you want to introduce yourself? I don't know. You do a lot of stuff.
You already introduced me, and that's it. There's nothing more.
There's nothing more. Dutch, notably Dutch. He's very tall.
Tall?
Like Dutch, yeah.
I just thought regular or average. But yeah, anyway, just to set the stage a little bit, I'm a C# backend developer, basically. And I do a lot with the Azure cloud, and then mix it up a little bit. I am actually MVP for Microsoft Azure, so not necessarily development, but that's where I come from and still love and do a lot of consultancy at our customers, help them out with mostly for me cloud solutions. And yeah, like you said, we're going to work on a project that's already Aspirified, because I like Aspire, but I have some challenges which I want to hopefully solve today with these magicians down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the solution started off as a hobby project, and yeah, it grew and grew, and now we're here.
You want me to put your screen up? You want to tell us about it?
Sure, let's do that.
All right.
So Visual Studio, there you go. Aspire is already here. I have a folder in which I have the Aspire app host and the service defaults. It's also actually on a physical folder in my on my hard drive, like all the other services.
Oh.
It's not just solution folders, it's actual folders on my hard drive for the simple reason that I deploy this app with GitHub Actions, and that allows me to filter on where the source code has changed so that the appropriate workflows kick off, and not everything is deployed when I change something in only a single service. So what this app does, you see conferences and email licenses and notifications, organizations, QR code generator and whatnot. What this app does is it is actually an app for conference organizers, and it allows them to set up speaker reviews or a feedback mechanism for speakers, so the speakers can have their own dashboard and they can download a QR code. And with that QR code, speakers can implement it in their presentation, show the QR code, and then receive feedback. And for the conference organizer, there's a dashboard that shows all the feedback of all the speakers, but also what topics were interesting and whatnot.
Yeah.
And speakers get to download their own speaker report and receive feedback how to make their sessions even better.
Yeah. And this is what you guys use at Techrama, right?
We used it at Techrama in the Netherlands last year, and previous Techrama in Belgium, and we will for the Dutch Techrama in October as well. We use it at Future Tech, but there's a lot more conferences that are interested in this tool.
Yeah. I think the first time I used it was at Future Tech a few months ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice." It's like, because Fowler and Damian both, you guys know what it's like to speak at a conference, and then it's like, oh, you have all this feedback, and you're like, oh, you sent me an Excel spreadsheet? Okay. Nobody complained about me, right? Am I invited back? Great. Awesome. Love that.
So this one is a little bit more sophisticated. It's just not that you get one digit like a 4 out of 5, so you're fine. It's a little bit more fine-grained, but still, the bar to leave a review for attendees is fairly low because it's just a couple of stars and the rest is optional.
Yeah.
So if they're very happy about something or very disappointed about something, they will probably leave a comment and hopefully improve your session.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's obviously for the board that you made, we need to mention AI something, I believe, for the what's the board again? The bingo board. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the bingo board. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot
to. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's AI involved, obviously, because conference sessions usually come with an explanation about what the session is about. And I read that explanation and try to extract topics and hopefully be able to tell conference organizers what topics were popular or not, based on the reviews that we got.
Sweet. All right.
So the plan for
it's already Aspirified, right? So
it's already Aspirified. So I have this nice app host. Let's put this
Dapper.
a little bit. Dapper, yes.
Nice.
So Dapper's in. It is hosted on Azure Container Apps.
Yep.
Because I love Azure Container Apps.
Hold on, does that work? I'm kidding. Does that work with Dapper? They did make that work, didn't they? Okay.
Yeah, it does. It does. When you go to the I don't know what
Don't they have a first class thing for that? There's like a tick box or something.
There was a so Dapper used to be in the Aspire source repo, and then it moved to the toolkit.
Yeah.
And this part was broken for a bit. So
I thought ACA had a thing specifically.
But we have to turn it on. If you use Dapper in Aspire, we have to set a flag that says like,
got it.
Turn on Dapper in ACA. But it's working.
For what it's worth, by the way, Ed is not using Aspire to deploy right now.
Yep. Ooh, okay, that's why it works.
So the thing is, this is my container apps environment, and there you see that this is Dapper version 1.13.6 Microsoft. And that's important, Microsoft, because they take the official release from Dapper, and change it a little bit to so that Microsoft is sure that it's stable enough for their cloud solution. So it's not a one-on-one implementation of Dapper, but it mostly is. And I believe Dapper is today a couple of versions ahead. So you cannot use the latest and greatest. You have to wait for the container apps environment or the container apps team to roll out a new version of Dapper. So there's a little bit of a dependency there.
I think this is the biggest solution we've seen on AspiriFriday so far. 60 projects.
You win.
Woohoo! Yeah, but it's the initial idea of this project was that I wanted to use this as a demo for my own conference talks, and it grew a little bit. So I over-engineered it a little bit. As you can probably see, yeah, perfect. So there's a couple of services. This service is to maintain conferences, basically, and the conference consists of obviously conference name and date, start date, end date, and whatnot. But it also contains what speakers are at the conference and the sessions or presentations in a conference, and obviously a relation between the presentations and the speakers. But as you can see, there's always this abstractions project, which is most of the, or sometimes not necessary. There's the API, which is basically a .NET Web API. This one uses Cosmos DB as a storage. There's integration because I want to expose a couple of endpoints for internal services, and then I use Dapper to communicate with these internal services, but I don't want to expose those endpoints to the public internet. So there's a separate project for that, and obviously tests, because who doesn't test?
So the first thing I'm noticing looking at your app host is you don't have any data. You've got no dependencies in there. You've only got projects.
Woohoo! And that's what we're going to do today.
Okay.
So super funny. One thing that's burning my eyes is that path combined, the resource paths. I'm like staring at it going, we have to fix that.
Which one?
The path.
The hard-coded flashes, I think.
That's fine. I think so. Last week we showed how you can resolve paths.
Yeah.
To make sure that so right now when you run this from VS, it works because VS sets the working directory to the project folder. If you ran from the command line, it would not work unless you ran it from that folder directly, which is fine. But if you want to make it resilient to make it run in general, you
no matter where it launches from, you just you want to replace the get current directory with a reference to the project directory.
I do.
Yep.
And I want to replace immutable hash .create with a collection expression. So let me I can now search my tabs. And I think this could become something like, do I have IntelliSense? Let me see. I don't. What is the thing called? Is that what it's called? I'm not sure what it's called. Let me. If it fails for you, let me know.
Bring up your ref docs.
Huh?
API docs. Bring them up.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I mean, this whole IntelliSense not working through live share, that's not normal, right? I thought
it's not. And I don't know why. And I also don't know who I'm supposed to file the bug on.
The planet.
It does not work. I did get a banner in my VS that said like some modules weren't loaded or weren't available, and so you don't get the full experience. But I couldn't. It didn't tell me what it was. So
something like this in theory.
I mean, it looks like it's resolving on Ed's screen, so it's good.
Yeah.
I wonder if
and for me, I couldn't have a better Copilot. This is how the Copilot experience is for me. I just
Copilot is more like this, right? I think so. One strange thing is this will use forward slashes on Windows, and it will come. Yeah, even more pedantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will that resolve those things?
It should. In theory. Like all the path resolution stuff is supposed to be.
I broke your app, just so you know, by the way. Just to be pedantic, I totally broke your app.
I'm going to try opening in a different version of Visual Studio, see if that helps.
So the reason that I use Dapper is that there's messaging in the tool. And in the Azure cloud, I use Azure Service Bus. And today I can use an emulator for the Azure Service Bus, but there's no way that you can view the contents of a queue or a topic or something in the emulator.
Locally. Yeah.
Locally.
There's no UI. I think I've seen people, there's like maybe 2 projects that built emulators that run locally using Blazor. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't find one, so I decided to use Dapper for the PubSub.
Yep.
And then use a Redis cache container, a Redis container locally, and then configure Dapper to use the Azure Service Bus online in the cloud. And to be honest, I think that the way messaging works with Dapper is great.
Yeah.
Because you just create a HTTP post endpoint. Shall I show it?
Yep.
Maybe people are interested.
Yeah. Dapper enlightened.
Yeah, so this is just a web API with a couple of controllers, and I have one class, event handlers controller. And when you want to handle messages that come from Dapper, you just create this. You just add this attribute. So this is what Dapper PubSub component you're using, and this is the name of the topic to listen to. And whenever a message and when you start your app, Dapper will go ahead and create a subscription on the topic for you. And now when you start your app and a message arrives on the topic, then Dapper will make an HTTP post request to this endpoint with the message as a payload, which is, I think, a very neat solution.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
It is very cool.
Because usually you create a background service or something to create this subscription to a topic or a queue or whatnot, and then you have to handle the message and do some magic, and that magic is now taken away from you.
Can I nit one more thing? So if you look at line 36, there's 3 dots underneath the string interpolation control dot there. This is a super common pattern, by the way. So the first fix.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Perfect. Yeah. Yay. Yeah. So interpolation works, but it doesn't do what you want for logging. You want to actually capture the name of the field in your log. So we will. You know, the system parses that out. This is for the audience, not for you because you're a pro. The system will parse out that name of the thing in the brackets, and that will become a structured log in whatever your system is. So
why don't we build a custom string interpolation handler for logging to fix that?
Because this is more efficient, because when you have a constant string, it's cached versus when you do.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but doesn't the custom string interpolation handler can do that in such a way that it's, I guess it still has to resolve.
No, because when you use interpolation, it always has to
every call.
The string.
Yeah, it's every call. Yeah,
that's what it used to be. I think this used to be a separate NuGet package, right? Just structure log.
No, it's been there since the beginning of ASP.NET Core.
So let me see. So this is good. So you have Dapper right now, and you're using Dapper with a bunch of Dapper components configured in the. Can you show us the Dapper components?
Sure.
YAML.
Yeah. This. Yep. There you go.
And
so there's a couple of services.
My mind's like blown away. You just changed IDEs. It's cool.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and it just works between VS and VS Code like normal. Like that's normal, which is amazing. Also, we get asked all the time, like, "Oh, well, Aspire is replacing Dapper," and we're like, "Nah, bro, they all work together." And so now we can actually start pointing people to this video. So I'm very excited. So
Aspire makes Dapper actually better because like having to launch.
Sometimes, but you know, there are more and more emulators and solutions coming to let's call it a native Aspire, and that and those tools are really challenging Dapper, if you ask me. So about 1 year ago, I would say Aspire and Dapper were a hand-in-hand solution, but today you might tend to leave Dapper and go for a full Aspire solution because all the emulators are there. And so I think the field changes a little bit. So for the Dapper components, I have a couple of cron jobs, which are jobs that are on a time schedule. And again, this one just calls an endpoint. And this is again a HTTP post endpoint in one of my APIs. In this case, the conferences API.
I love what it says at every 10 minutes. That's like, what? That's cool.
I know. And there's one a daily sync organization, and the Dapper component is called daily sync organization. And you see that this one is scheduled for 5 minutes, so it's not daily, but this is in my development environment.
Yeah.
In the cloud environment, it's actually a daily scheduled job, but it's hard to debug if you have to wait 24 hours for the job to start again.
Yeah, that sounds right.
What you need is a time provider of sorts.
Sure. So I have a simulator that allows me to simulate reviews coming in, so that I can do some load testing and see what happens if a conference is actually running. And I don't know if you guys know Techorama. Maddy has been there, but it's a fairly large conference with, depending on where you are, but around 2,000 attendees that potentially start posting reviews in a very short time frame. So I want to make sure that each and every individual review comes in and is handled properly. So I want to test it out. Again, maintenance job. This is the PubSub. To do PubSub locally, I think one of the most easiest ways to set up. So I have installed Dapper, and when you install Dapper, you get a Redis container, a Docker container that will run for you in the background, and you just configure it. Okay, I want a component that's called, in my case, preview PubSub, because the tool is called preview. Preview PubSub. I want you to use Redis. This is the host of my Redis, and locally Redis doesn't have a password, and that's it.
Clean.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And then again, background job. Yeah, yucky.
I mean, that part is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Again, a background job, and this is a state store, and this one is again using Redis. But then the storage, I use this as a cache, and in the cloud service, it will use Azure. What is it? Azure Cache for Redis.
Yeah. Wow. So you're really just using Aspire as a F5 mechanism
Launcher.
Yeah, but the thing is, I have a couple of storage accounts that I use to store data in table storage. I have one Cosmos DB that lives in my application. Is it? I think the official term, the application landing zone. I think they officially changed that term.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know what they call it.
I think it's still called that. I mean, the I don't want to say what's in my head, but like the super robust deployment.
Yeah. So the thing is you had two terms of a landing zone. One is the Azure landing zone, which is the super duper networking and ingress and robust
complex
thing to handle incoming internet traffic and redirect it to the appropriate service and whatnot. That is the Azure landing zone. Then for each and every application that you have an application landing zone. And it's basically the base infrastructure that your application needs. So I have a couple of services that use Cosmos DB, and for me it doesn't make sense to deploy a Cosmos DB instance for each and every service. So I put that in the application landing zone. So I have one instance of Cosmos DB, and a couple of services are using that instance of Cosmos DB.
I see. And is that how do you test that locally? Do you have a
Exactly.
okay?
This is where you come in. So I want to change this app today, so it will run the Cosmos DB emulator, because now and storage as well, but maybe a couple of storage. I don't know if that's possible to start off a couple. Okay, let's try it.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
And to be able to run this app fully local, because at this point I use managed identities for connecting to Cosmos DB, but I added my own personal identity as well to be able to debug, and then my local host environment actually connects to my test environment in the cloud, which is not nice because I wanted to spin up.
But what happens if Maddy wants to run your app? Then she's like, has to read or read me.
Yeah, she cannot.
Yeah.
Good.
For the simple reason that her identity doesn't have any permissions on my Cosmos DB.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's fix it.
That's the problem right there.
Yep.
There we go.
All right, let's start. You know what? Every Friday I wake up and I wonder, when do we get stumped?
I know. Is this the
which Friday are we gonna get like complete? I saw Dapper and I was like, oh my gosh, Dapper.
We lose Damian half an hour early today too. So like we lose him in an hour. So we're extra screwed. The second ports get involved. Like
the thing why I switch IDE is that when I write C#, I really like Visual Studio proper. Is that
whoa? Is it proper?
And I don't know.
I knew
Visual Studio proper. You have there's VS Code and VS.
Yeah.
I say VS big and VS little, so that's probably not better.
VS godlike. I don't know. Anyways, so C#. So I'll switch back to VS, whatever it is. I see it.
Okay, so which resource?
Yeah, let's start with Cosmos DB because I think that's.
Hold on, let's run the app first.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Run the app.
Whoa, hold on. Oh yeah, see if the changes that you guys made are.
Let's make sure I didn't break your app first.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't know if we can quickly identify that because it uses the cache aside pattern. So hopefully, when the cache is not there,
it should still work. This app is too resilient. We don't want that.
Yeah.
We love errors.
Impressive, isn't it?
We want to find the failures, make it fail. No, that's fine.
I think that's on the bingo board. Someone will have to remind me.
Woohoo!
Oh, there you go. God.
This is nice. I think the Dapper side cars got made child resources now, so that's super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the requested. I think that's in Aspire 9.1.
Yeah.
That's and I immediately saw that all my Dapper containers, or all my Dapper instances were not.
Yep. I need to do the custom icons thing.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining this with like proper icons for Dapper for all the Dapper resources and.
Oh man.
Yeah. We're gonna.
Is there a way to by default collapse these services?
Not yet.
No,
not yet. Is there an issue for that yet?
Yeah, there isn't even a button to collapse all. I think, which
there isn't. No.
There should be. So we.
Can you guys call James in
Yeah. Wait. Hold on.
We're busy doing other stuff right now.
Oh yeah, it's fired. It fired.
But this one is really nice. If you have a couple of services, it's really nice to see all the relations and.
It's cool, and you can filter.
Oh, Copilot fixed it for the trace page.
Yeah.
But not for the main page. That's cool.
Speaker services. Awesome. So there's no front end at this point.
There's no front end.
Yeah, there is, but not in this environment.
I see.
This is an Angular app. So if I go ahead and log in, whoop, there you go. All fine. For now.
It's a full spa. I see.
Yep. Works.
So why isn't this on the Aspire part? Because it's
Angular. Because it's flat.
Wait, you can do that.
Okay. It can be added.
It can be added.
You want to do that? That'll take 2 seconds. Let's do that.
Oh, Maddy, why did you say that?
I know you're right. Hold
I
on.
was gonna say the same thing. I was like breaking into jail.
Let's
But
do
no,
it.
it should be approachable.
All right, VAR.
Wait, hold on. Where is the Angular app?
Yeah, where is it?
Sorry? In a different repo.
A different
Oh.
repo.
Wait, so did you run
you
it
have it cloned?
separately?
Sorry?
When did you run the app?
It was already running in the background.
Okay, so if someone clones this, they're gonna be super annoyed. They have to clone 2 repos to make it work. Where's your Angular app? It's like a whole different universe.
It's a different solution, bro.
It's a different repo.
Yeah.
It's not even a different. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a completely different.
So,
world.
so I've one repo for the entire API and one repo for the front end.
All right, that
That's
makes sense.
Okay.
If you have more repos than developers,
Is it? Hold on.
He's preparing. He's preparing for one. This is his retirement plan. Okay.
this makes sense.
So what I would do is I would
should
do
try it.
like an if-def basically. And
I mean, yeah. If you took what you said, Fowler, everyone's personal organization on GitHub would have exactly one repository.
yeah.
Per project, how about that?
Okay.
I
we
would
clone?
say if you want Aspire to handle your Angular app, we haven't actually really talked about the cloning mechanics of how multi-repo would work, like how we would actually handle something like submoduling or like a separate app host or anything. But you can still reference it by path. And since you're the primary developer and generally people clone repos to the same folder, I don't think doing a relative path is the worst thing in the entire world. At some point, we will build you the feature to make this more automagic, so someone could clone the API and hit F5 and get the front end right away, even in a separate repo. But we have not figured that out yet. But wait,
Question: do you like? What do you want people to do? What's your ideal end state that they're supposed to clone? Let's say someone joins your team to work on this app. What do they do first?
At this point, it's a private repo. So
I know, but like,
no,
we're gonna hire
no,
Maddy.
but put it this way: you get a new laptop. You get a new
Work for your
laptop.
company, and she joins on day 1. Her first task is to clone 2 repos to the right places, run one, run the other, point the config in the right stuff, and then have it.
yeah, that's it. Probably the config is already. Most of the backend configuration is in the Azure app configuration.
Oh.
So there's basically one configuration which is just the endpoint, and that also runs on managed identities. So you should be fine. It's even there.
Well, it's fine after you read the README.
Yeah.
Add all the permissions.
Right.
Configure the values correctly.
When's the last time you got a new machine? Like, when's the last time you had a fresh install of Windows or something?
I don't do that. No,
That's funny. No one does that, Maddy, except for Damian.
I do that. I do a fresh install of Windows like once a year, just in case.
Oh, now I have to rotate my Cosmos DB key. Oh, there you go.
That's okay. All right, you'll rotate it later. Rotate it later. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I personally would say Aspire should start your front end, even if it's in a separate repo. And for now, the README step will have to be make sure you clone this repo.
Yeah.
But it should be trivial. So if you just add builder.add npm app.
Well, hold on. Where's the app in the first place? So on your local machine right now, where's the Angular app?
So hold on. I have project, GitHub. Preview. So this is the folder structure. So I have one. This is the SPA, the Angular app. This is the Aspire project that we currently have open in Visual Studio, and there's also a documentation page which is completely separate.
I think we should just put it in an if statement. Just make the app host discover if it's in
Yeah, I'll
the
think
path
the
that
same
it
thing.
expects, and if it is, then it adds it. Otherwise, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Make it
cool.
resilient.
Yep.
That's cool.
So let's assume that it is like ...
Right. ...
I
I mean, if you wanted to, you could read from config and all that type of stuff.
Dot.
But I think just do an if statement, just like if path.exists,
Yeah.
directory.exists,
Then add it.
and then add it. Right. So maybe create a variable that has the path to the folder that your actual Angular app is in, where you would typically run the Angular CLI from.
I think the more I think about this, what's interesting about the multi-repo scenario is you have to kind of declare either a new repo to be the home, or you have to pick either you pick one of the repos that you have as the home that will clone other things.
Yeah.
Or you will make a new thing that is the Uber home of your end repos.
Sure, you got enough there? I think you got one too few.
I don't know. I think Dapper 1, 2, 3. I think 5. Maybe 5 are enough.
So this is the disadvantage of using physical folders to organize everything and then having traverse out.
Yeah.
But at least once you've got it right once, it should stay right.
Repo.apphost, yeah. That's the move. One day.
If we were really, maybe we should add a nullable property on the builder, which is the repo directory. And if we find a repo, we'll just walk up, and if we find a
repo root.
Yeah, repo root.
We already kind of look for that in the CLI too.
Oh, a lot of places do. A lot of our stuff does.
Yeah, NuGet, right?
Yeah. Targets do as well.
Global JSON. Well, global JSON just traverses up.
Is that a NuGet package? The NPM?
Yeah. So
Okay.
are you using NPM or are you using like Yarn or PNPM or something else?
Just NPM.
Okay. I would still get the Node.js community toolkit one. So if you right click, add a spot, yeah, you got it. Dot host it.
Host.
He's not in the filtered one. He's just.
Oh yeah, you're right. Hold on. Dot Node.js. Okay, get the community toolkit one. Yeah. And it just needs to go into the app host. It doesn't need to go into anything else. Nope. Wrong project, I think.
Was it?
I can't see.
Well, there's only 2. I don't know. It's either the service defaults or
That's true. All right. I mean, let's try it. So you're going to do add NPM app.
So should it be?
It was the right one.
NPM, not Node. By the way, chat, I want to rename this API like very desperately. I don't like it. I'm looking for feedback. It's going to end up being like add client-side JS app. We have an issue for it that actually I'll send so you can all weigh in on it.
And I don't like that name. So we're going to have, this is not.
Well, because he's the one who said add NPM app, which is such.
Because in my mind, it makes total sense. One fires up Node and one fires up NPM.
But NPM can do Node, bro.
What? No, it's about what we call process.start on. That's literally what it is. It's like, do you go to the command line and type npm, or do you go to the command line and type node? That's all. That's all it means.
I am on the bingo page pressing. Where is the Maddy and Damian?
Maddy and Damian disagree on naming.
Oh yeah. I'll add that one. I have you two bickering, and I have me swearing, but I don't.
Yeah, Maddy swearing.
You're not pretty good, Maddy. Like, I haven't heard you swear yet.
I know. I've been really good because now
it's only 42 minutes in.
We've gotten. I'm trying to keep track on my board. We've actually gotten quite a few, so someone might actually get bingo. And Tommaso and I are side chatting right now, adding things to the list, including someone shares a private key. That will be there next week.
So does the bingo thing actually give a random board to each person? So
yes.
It's real. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'll show you guys the code later. I've been trying not to tell you about it all week.
That's great.
And as you know, I talk endlessly, and so.
I'll just go ahead and start this.
Hold on.
Wait, no, yeah, that's.
Wait.
You know, if you're halfway, you can stop it.
Oh, nice.
That's right. There you go.
So the arguments are name of resource, working directory. That last thing
The
isn't
last one's not
needed.
right. Just bring up the statement completion help or the signature help, control alt space or control shift space, whatever it is in there, alt space, muscle memory. Yeah, script name. So like just it defaults to the start. So you can just leave it out and assuming you're using the start script, this will just run it.
Yeah. A lot of people do dev, so that might be it.
That's why it's program.
You want to look? You want to double check? Hit your package.json and.
But still, I want
just
to
run it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's so fair.
You say without a breakpoint? No. Needs to go one folder up.
More dots?
Yeah, more dots. I just got a WhatsApp message. I'm watching you on the stream. It's awesome.
Oh, celebrity. When I was waiting for Fowler and Damian to join before, I was just hanging out with Ed and we were catching up, and I was like, I feel like I'm in like the NBC green room waiting for like Jimmy Fallon to show up and like start the show, and I'm just like the handler. Which one of you is Jimmy Fallon? Which one of you sings better?
Me.
Depends on the key.
Oh no, it feels. What do you think? Is this a breakpoint or not?
It looks like Fowler just highlighted it, so I don't.
That's just there. That's in the air.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so finished.
Excellent. Let's look at the logs.
Oh, so on the right side.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, thank you. I got yelled at for this.
Oh, look.
So
I'm assuming the app is configured.
Yeah,
you've already got the app running, right? Somewhere else.
Yeah, I already got the app running. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just stopped it. Running.
Look at that. Beautiful.
But it has no URL.
I think, is it?
So you've got a file in use exception. If I'm looking at my live share down here, the app host console, this is another example, folks, of logs in the app host not being discoverable.
Anywhere.
So
Mitch, are you watching this?
No, it's 3 a.m.
Mitch, wake up.
Did you? Oh, he just closed it, so it's gone now. So, but if you run it again and then find the terminal window that opened for the app host app, right? And then wait till it loads. I was watching it on mine.
Yeah.
And there were file access errors. Yeah, it's popping up. What's amazing, it's actually popping up in my Windows terminal as a new tab.
I don't see it. Oh, wait.
Through live share.
Through live share.
Crazy.
I don't see it at all. Oh, I'm in VS Code, that's why.
So it should be in your terminal then, I think. I actually don't know if it works like that.
There are no errors.
Failing this time? Oh, I failed before. That's odd.
Thank you.
It's like file in use. I don't know what
you have a timing issue then.
We have any bugs?
Yeah.
No. I stopped the other service, so the ports
maybe it was that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So there's a couple other things that you should do on this. One is make it automatically install the packages, which is why I said the toolkit one. And then another one is give it a URL. So
give it a URL on it. You need to declare the endpoint, basically.
Yeah. So after the add npm app.
And so just to explain, like, why don't you have to do this for the ad project, but you have to do it for anything else? So for ad project, we discover the .NET launch profiles automatically. We go into where the project path is, we find the launch settings file, we parse it, and then we extract out the URLs so we know that it has endpoints. For npm app or node app, there's no standard way to declare on disk for those things what they're going to listen on. If you're using Angular or other Vite or something, there might be a little bit more structure, but you typically have to do what you're doing here. So make that with HTTP endpoint rather than with endpoint, and then you don't have to provide the scheme. Just say with HTTP endpoint. Yep, and then you can get rid of the scheme.
And there's two ports, just so you know, like there's the port. It's funny, and it can be the same port, and it defaults port if you say one. But there's the port that people use to talk to your app, will be called the client port, the external port, and there's the port that the app is listening on, and they can be different. So typically, when you end up deploying and you're running in a container, the port that you're listening to in the container is like port 80, right? And it's for that one container, but the port that's exposed to callers is something else.
Yeah.
So,
and that's true even without a container here because we proxy by default.
Yeah.
And so the port that you're specifying here is going to be the port that we expose to other apps, I believe, by default.
Yeah, that's right.
And that means that this is going to fail because we're going to try and start our proxy with that port, but your app is going to start with that port because it's hard-coded, right? So if your app is hard-coding the port that it listens on, you need to set target port.
Yeah, so target port 4200. Nope. You don't even need the first one.
And you don't need the first one. It can be random.
Yeah. That's all you need is just the target port. Yep. Nope. Nope. Delete your comma. And then the other thing I would add is after the HTTP endpoint dot with packaged installation, with npm package installation, just do with package something and see what comes
npm
up. Yes, that.
This got an update last night, so maybe you'll have the new version.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
And now what that will do is if it's a fresh clone of the repo, it will run npm install. I actually think it runs.
Doesn't it just run it all the time?
Yeah, it does.
I think it does run it all the time.
Yeah, it's not smart.
Yeah.
But it alleviates the pain of a fresh clone of the repo.
Just make sure it's up to date when you boot it.
So there you go. That's that. Now you have the front end running. And now we can do what you actually want to do, which is
Is your no, it wouldn't be. I'm just thinking this is just a front end app, so npm install failed. Interesting.
What did Aaron break?
First bug.
So it's interesting that this crashes the entire app.
Why did it fill it in the app? Like
it shouldn't. That's a bug in the community toolkit package.
Oh my god, I have to go file.
That's an unhandled exception.
Hold on. Show me the exception. It's crashing the dashboard. It's crashing the actual.
It shouldn't be crashing the app host. Like it's we reserve crashing the app host for very like severe things. Like you cannot proceed at all.
Or npm.
Yeah, or npm. It turns out.
Is there any?
Can you just show the call stack?
Show call stack.
External code. Show call stack. It'll bring up the call stack. Yeah, you just got it down there. A bit.
Show external code.
And then right mouse click on external code, and say and show.
There's a button for it right there. Actually, you see it right upper right.
Oh, sorry. In the toolbar of this window, there's a show external code button.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nothing.
Oh gosh.
Ugh.
All right. Well, then just delete that line. What time is it in this live stream? 50 minutes.
Well, hang on. Go back to the where is that output captured?
All right. I think I know what's wrong.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Who's logging the bug? Fowler, are you logging a bug?
I'm logging it right now.
Figure out why it would fail so early.
Maddy's.
I need to check.
There was a stack there. It was there. It had community toolkit in it.
Hold on. Can we do one thing?
What?
Yeah.
Can we check to see what version this thing is?
What npm version?
What version
the
toolkit package is in this project?
It should be the latest one. He just installed it.
Yeah.
Latest pre-release?
I believe it's 9.5.
Won't be pre-release.
And install the previous version. Let's see something.
He wants to update it to the pre-release version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go to the updates tab here. It's the quickest way to do this. Go to the updates tab at the top and then click include the button checkbox. I can't talk this morning. Include pre-release. That checkbox on the right. Yeah. Now you can see
update that one.
So install that
previous
one.
version.
Latest pre-release. That's what you want.
We got our first bingo. Hold on.
That didn't take long.
Oh,
you obviously need a bigger board.
I need to make these harder. The first ever AspiriFridays bingo. Congratulations, Mario.
We should send him a shirt.
I know, right? All the shirts got stolen. This is the story from
Whose
Bill.
job is it to verify the bingo cards?
Yeah,
so that's what Tommaso built.
It should be
an AI agent that watches the stream and fills it out as it goes, and then it can verify.
Well, I was going to make Tommaso be my AI agent, but he built a thing.
That would be a fun project, actually.
Yeah,
that is actually doable.
Yeah.
Bit of whisper, just monitor the stream, and an LLM.
It's pretty good. I bet this.
So I think the problem is that a couple of the npm packages are not compatible with each other. I'm going to turn on the light here.
Impossible. npm incompatible? What?
Yeah. So I think this is the newest package, the latest package, the pre-release, and I think it's still going to fail.
I think it'll probably still fail, but it'll fail in the dashboard, and you'll get logs.
That's better. That's what we want.
The change that was made was that it used to run in the app host itself.
Yeah,
and now it runs as a child resource. So you see front end install there.
Yeah.
npm install.
Yeah.
You should have logs for that thing now.
It's interesting. Like that's go to the other button on the far right. It is interesting from a design point of view. I still think it's an open question what the right design is for these type of things. Whether it's a resource with its own logs that's a child, or whether it's a background thing that pumps its logs into the main resource that you attached it to. I actually think it may be better as the second one, but it's certainly discoverable this way.
You want to see the npm thing, but the question is like, where do you
do I want like a separate road for every single thing that we might be orchestrating as an adjunct? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it should be its own type, and then you can filter them on or off or something.
I think so. Yeah.
So the thing is, this is expected.
Oh.
And I want to be able to add this switch to the npm install.
Add it. Is there let's go look at the method and see if there's a way to do it.
I was looking.
Oh.
What's funny is because it is a resource. No, you can't actually do that, but I'm sure
you could go in and twiddle its args. Yeah.
It's not exposed.
Okay, so there's someone logged that issue on the community toolkit.
More bugs, Maddy. More bugs.
Well, so the other one's fixed because we fixed it, right? Yeah. So
interesting. Okay.
So I think this would look like a callback inside of that call. There'd be an npm resource.
Very similar to what we do for the container.
Yeah, exactly.
Companion resources or whatever we call these.
Yep.
They're kind of like sidecars, but I don't want to call them sidecars because that's already a thing in container land. So
I would say just delete this line then, and you can
comment it out.
Comment it out.
Yeah. So there's no way for me to add that switch now.
I mean, not easily. Well, like we could give you some hacky code that would find this resource and then twiddle it before. It's not hard. You could, like, in the next line, you could subscribe to an event that then in the callback for that event, you could go, go and fiddle with the args. But
yeah,
let's start emulating.
Yeah,
let's emulate.
Yay.
Like, did we verify the URL showing up now?
No, we didn't.
Okay, let's do that.
It's because it hasn't started yet.
Oh yeah, because that's how we wrote the logic for URLs.
It's smart, almost.
Well, we improved it in 9.4. I committed that yesterday. So now static URLs will be available on the resource immediately. URLs that don't depend on endpoints. And then the endpoint ones don't show up until the endpoint is listening. If it's like a project or a container. Custom resources are a little bit trickier.
Interesting.
There you go.
Nice.
That port, by the way, is the proxy port.
Yep.
Not your port, and it maps. We listen on a random port, and then your target port is still the fixed port.
Yep.
4200.
Yep.
So whenever I make a request to either one of these services, so I use YARP locally as a reverse proxy. This one.
Okay.
And this one needs proper course policies to be able to handle incoming requests from the front end project. Do I need to configure YARP to allow requests from this port, or do you think that 4200 is okay?
We should make it use the same port here. Yeah. Like, we should add the code and show you how to get a reference to that endpoint, and then you can get its. That's probably the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, this is my identity provider failing on.
So this is it. It's funny because I've been through all of this with our samples. I know exactly what this is. What is your identity provider? What do you use?
Auth0.
Okay, so this is because that's like in the cloud. You want to use a fixed port here, absolutely. So you can choose one of two things. You can either turn off proxying for this resource because you don't have you don't. There are some benefits to the fact that Aspire proxies for you during the local inner loop, or you can just fix the port. So you can pass in the other argument and make it the port that is in your callback URL.
Just change target port to port.
Yeah, you can just change target port to port.
And then set the proxy to false.
Right, and then just turn off proxying.
Oh,
Right,
okay. So we
right.
are saying that Aspire will spin it up on the port. Aspire will.
It doesn't do anything at that point. So
Aspire
if
says
you
own the
turn off
port.
proxying, it doesn't try to get a port at all, right? It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, you just told me it's on this port. And that way, when I declare to other things that this resource has an endpoint, I know what port it's on because you told me, right? It's
Port.
literally that.
Make it port,
Make it
not
port,
target
not target port. So there's a parameter called port.
That defaults both.
Yep.
Yep.
So this is a complex part of Aspire. It's a bit of a learning curve to understanding how endpoints work. I mean, it's not dissimilar to if you're using Docker Compose or other things where you have to declare ports and things, and sometimes they're assigned and sometimes they're not. It's just because we have this extra proxy layer, you have to be aware that it's there.
I did put ports are difficult on the bingo board.
Oh, there you go.
Now that is checked off.
It's checked off too. All right, so start it up again.
I am so glad I got you guys in a situation that you could explain this.
Yeah.
FC dashboard again. I don't know why my dashboard always starts on the other screen. Uh-oh.
So that means it's the wrong.
No, didn't.
No, just take a second.
Didn't.
So that's because you don't have the proxy. So one of the things that the proxy does for you in Aspire is that it actually holds connections open until the resource is ready to accept them. So you don't.
Got it.
I mean, the workaround is to add a health check. So one thing we could do is add an HTTP health check to your.
That's one line,
resource.
right? So let's add that.
Yeah, let's add it.
Go back to the dashboard. And then you can say after this.
Sorry.
No,
here's the dashboard.
Sorry, I misspoke. Go to the app host. My words aren't working today.
Damian's off his game today.
I'm usually really particular.
I know.
And say dot with HTTP health check.
With HTTP
health check. And then
you
don't have to do anything.
That's with health check.
With HTTP
that's the wrong
health check.
With HTTP health check.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you shouldn't have to pass anything by default. It will discover the HTTP endpoint and then set up a health check for that. If you wanted to check a specific path is available, you can add that here. But I think all we're trying to do here is say this resource isn't ready until its HTTP endpoint is responding with a 200.
Do you think that hard reload works?
No.
Not for app host, it doesn't.
Not
one
yet
day.
For app
one
host,
day, maybe in some far off future. Someone's asking in the chat, why was HBS health check obsoleted? Basically, when I first wrote those methods, we hadn't established the pattern that I introduced with the with HTTP command methods, where it basically defaults and discovers HTTP endpoints and prefers HTTPS if it finds that first. And so then I went back and I updated with HTTP health check to have that behavior. And we deprecated the with HTTPS health check because it's just not required anymore. It's just an inferior version of that API.
So
yeah,
now
so we saw it was unhealthy.
Yeah, we started with unhealthy and now it's healthy and it's available.
Lovely.
Great. There we go.
Worked.
All right.
Cool.
And can you log in? Did we verify now that the login works?
I did.
Oh, perfect.
Wow.
Okay, so that's all working. Lovely. All right. So do we want to add the emulators next?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Go.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Multi-repo, health checks, Angular front end, npm restore is failing. It's like that's the peak JavaScript experience.
And we logged some issues to improve stuff. We found.
Oh yeah, I'm going to leave this one in for later.
Yeah, leave that there.
One day that'll work.
Finally.
I think
if that issue logged, you can put a link to the issue above it. That's what I usually do when I find problems, and I put like
I logged it. I just logged
comment,
it, so.
and I put a GitHub URL in there.
That's very smart, Damian.
Well, I grew up in the era where VS kind of pushed on you. I don't know if people have seen this. It has a built-in to-do list. It used to be there, and then the type of to-do would be scavenged from a a prefix on your comment code
right?
before a colon. So you could say bug colon, hack colon, perf colon, info colon, like whatever. And then they would show up in a to-do list in Visual Studio. And so I used to do that a lot. And then so I could see stuff in my, I could, through whatever solution I had open in VS, you could get a list of every comment that was marked with one of these prefixes that you had registered, which is really nice. Yeah, we will fix this someday. Somebody.
We will fix this somebody. Sure.
And so we do that in the ASP.NET Core code base. You'll see them every. We're not consistent like on what prefix we use, but it's just a common pattern.
Cool.
Someone's saying, wasn't that a resharper feature? It might have been, but I remember using that in Visual Studio in like the early 2000s.
It's a VS feature. It's not.
I'm pretty sure it was a VS feature.
It scavenges all the comments and it finds those prefixes. Yeah, it's a thing.
I don't know if that. I'm assuming that window still exists. I haven't used it literally
I just can't find
years.
it. Instead of options that there now.
So in the meanwhile, I got to find the hosting package for Aspire for Cosmos DB.
Are you installing that into the app host? Because that's where it's supposed to go.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's not really clear.
I can't see it.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
You can't move it across. I see.
I cannot move it across. I can, but the mouse pointer doesn't show up correctly. Don't ever read it, just accept it.
That is the way. Fowler had a really hard time watching me write code by hand the other day because Copilot couldn't figure out how to read the Spectre console docs. So I was reading the docs and implementing a feature by hand. And Fowler was just so mad about it.
Like a savage. Typing like a savage.
I know.
I like this one, by the way, the top level. This is
interesting.
Fairly new, I believe.
Yeah.
But it gives you insight in what, as most of the times when you have multiple projects in your solution, they refer to each other, and then you use packages because the project that you reference uses that package, and with the top level you get to see which where the package is actually installed.
Yeah, what's funny is like I worked on NuGet like 3 or 4 times in my career, and whenever I see it evolve, I feel like watching a child grow up. I'm like, oh my god, we finally got that feature. So good.
Right.
Amazing. Yeah, NuGet's like that. You're like abusive like partner that you always go back to. Like you're like, eh. And then we're like, we should do what NuGet does. And Fowler's like, no, here's all the reason that's wrong. All right, add Azure Cosmos DB, baby. Nice.
Yep.
And what is emulator?
This should be fun to watch.
Yeah.
So you don't have to add the endpoints here. So all the built-in integrations, we know all the container endpoints, the password settings, the volume mounts. So there's a first class experience for these things. So you don't have to do that all. Just call.
This one's fun though.
So I think this is a good segue. With are things that mutate the current resource. So you added a Cosmos DB account essentially, and then any with thing is to change that resource. Adds a new resource. So you're adding a Cosmos DB account resource top level server, and then you're gonna add a database to that resource. So when you call, you're gonna add a child resource essentially. So you call add Cosmos DB, add database, and you can add a container under that. So that call should be it's called add Cosmos database. I'm sorry.
You don't need to, right? You don't need the with external HTTP endpoints call.
Yeah.
Is this? I think this one there is this Cosmos DB Explorer.
That's built into the local that method. What it does is it exposes the endpoint when you deploy.
Yeah, it's metadata that says this resource's HTTP endpoint should be made available in the public network, whatever that means in the target destination. So when you deploy to ACA, it means expose it to the internet.
Yeah. And not just the
and not just the
inherent
internal
VNet. You know, the container apps environment that ACA makes is basically a virtual network. And the reason we did AZD as the first deployment thing is because you can just deploy your app host as its own container apps environment, and we don't have to deal with any of the networking stuff. And that's what external HTTP endpoint was for. So
Copilot just gaslit you. That's like
Yeah.
So you call, I think it's called add container. It was a good guess, but
Yeah.
it's just regular. Oh, it's add container on Azure Cosmos.
yeah,
DB.
it would have been
wait.
add database, but we used it and it did the wrong thing, so we have to change the name.
Interesting.
Partition keys ID.
Naming is hard.
Yep,
It's not our fault.
that's about all you can set, I think, right now.
And there's another container, but I don't.
It's probably one of the hardest parts of adapting Aspire to your existing app. That you're basically trying to reverse engineer the configuration in the app host based on what you have in your app. So you're schematizing the stuff in your app in the app host now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I need to get back to my Cosmos to be in the cloud and find what the actual names of the containers are. Just
if you want to start super simple and not do anything crazy yet, you could just add the Cosmos DB top level thing. See it working first.
Yeah.
And then yeah, observe what your app does. Yep. So I would just pass in the top level, either database or the Cosmos account, the top level Cosmos. And then after you figured out what the app needs, then you can come back in the app host and then add those things. Does your app currently create containers, or does that happen outside the app?
No, that happens outside the app because
Okay.
I think that is infrastructure, so it should be done in a pipeline or something. And
Okay.
else your application has too much permissions.
So what I'd recommend right now is you can pass the containers directly to the project, but I wouldn't do that yet. I would just call those APIs to have the app host create the containers, but then pass in a reference to the Cosmos account.
Yeah, but first I want the Cosmos to start up as an emulator. But do I need to make a switch whether or not to check if it's running in a development environment?
You don't. What we do is, so if you were to run this right now, it would not do what you wanted. But if you call this method, run as emulator, yeah, you use that one, it's better. If you call this method, it will only in run mode. So when you F5 or launch via Aspire run, the run as prefix means only apply this in that mode. So if you see a publish as or a run as means we will detect whenever you're running and we will apply these settings. And the same goes for publish. Preview APIs. There you go. Perfect. Yep. Just for as a style thing, I would move this line 26 to 28 under line 21. It's triggering my OCD. Yeah, perfect. Woo! Okay, so let's run that just to see if it works.
Yeah, it probably works.
Cross fingers.
I don't know if the container is already there on my machine, else it has to pull the container in. Cosmos container is fairly large, so it takes some time.
There's Cosmos.
And
it has the URL directly.
And it's already running.
And you can see the. Don't we? Hold on. What did we?
There's no Explorer.
Where's the Explorer? What version of Aspire is this? 9.3? 9.2?
3, I believe.
Where's the Explorer?
9.31.
Is it a separate call you have to make? Really?
I think so. I think it has to do with the with these endpoints that I wanted to add, because if you have,
says there's another method.
There's another method. Yeah, you have to call it.
Oh, like add PG.
Like everything else, right? What?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
If you do,
it would be odd
if you do
first
with
call.
HTTP endpoint, then you have
not the endpoint.
No.
There's a method to turn on the Explorer.
It's the callback, yeah.
Yeah.
With Data Explorer. And no, it's inside the run as preview emulator callback.
Not
you
that
see
one.
how you have options.persistent lifetime in that same callback there on line 23.
Yeah, I got it. I know.
Yeah, turn that into a block.
No, it's fine.
Yep.
You could just.
Oh, you can chain them. Sorry,
Yeah.
My bad. It's a builder.
Oh my god.
No, not that. It's just making stuff up.
It's making stuff up.
Copilot.
Ignore Copilot for all this stuff for now. With
With
Data Explorer.
Data, was it? There you go.
Explorer.
Data Explorer, and you don't have to pass anything to it.
No arguments, yeah. So one of the benefits of Aspire, one of the many benefits, is that you don't have to remember all of the data. You just remember the methods, right? So you don't have to know that the port is 7063, right, and the config option to turn on the emulator is like Cosmos _ name _ blah. That's the thing that we encapsulate in these methods. So we basically read the docs once and tell Copilot, go implement a method. That's
and then you get to use statement completion, right? So
exactly.
then you bring it up and you arrow through them and you go, oh, and look at the signature help and it says, oh, this will turn on the da-da-da. And you go, great, that's what I want.
Yep. Data Explorer.
Boom.
Look at that. It's a URL
Also
with a nice
new.
name.
Look at the name.
Yeah. It's also new.
That is new.
Sure.
We locked Damian in a closet and beat him senseless until he shipped that. And then now he's trying to fix the tests for it because he broke everything.
That's done. I did actually. Well, no. Yes, it is.
Every change. Last night, I almost wrote a comment. I was like, "Is going to have like this?"
I asked you to review it, and then you just
Mitch merged it beforehand.
Well,
I don't see any containers.
Someone else approved it.
No, where are
Yeah,
the containers?
I don't see any containers. They should be there.
Do you have to do run as? No.
No.
What's missing? You're not seeing them?
Containers aren't being created.
You should create them.
Do you have to reference them?
I'm not even sure we logged this anywhere.
Go back.
Oh, Fake Ray-Bans, who, by the way, has been like an expert in Cosmos in the chat.
They don't get
I don't
created.
think Aspire creates the containers. Okay.
So like, this is like create database all over again. On the
Hold on. Oh, we create the database, not the containers.
Yeah.
Well, no, we do. We create them.
Hang on.
What?
We
You're
do
reading
create
code, I assume.
Yeah, I am.
Then why are they not created?
I don't know.
I just added a reference for one project.
I'm looking at the current code. Let me go back a version.
Go back to the 9.3 code. There's every possibility we added this in 9.4.
It's there. Create container if not exists async.
Okay.
Create container if not exists async. Who named that?
They're
both there now.
You know why? Refreshing this thing, there's no button to refresh. Oh yeah, I recall this now.
It's up there. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, okay, there it is.
It was just time. Okay.
Easy to find.
Oh.
That is the world's smallest refresh button. Like it's made up of about 8 pixels. Look at it.
Where's the arrow? Where's the arrow?
There you go. Just keep hitting keys until the arrow appears. That's what I do when I'm using Zoom it.
All right, we're close. We're close. Now,
yeah, sure.
What I would recommend is find where your app reads that configuration for Cosmos DB.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
What?
And that's why I called you guys in. No, it's not.
We're getting to the meat now.
Are you doing something crazy?
I'm not, but I had troubles with the configuration of the app because I use Azure App Configuration and nothing else.
Okay. By the way, we have a surprise for y'all. They're working on stuff that'll be easy for local dev pretty soon.
Is the video in the PR, Fowler?
With PR? Not yet. Hold on.
Where?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
Azure app configuration. There you go.
It shouldn't matter, to be honest. Since iConfiguration is what you're consuming, this is just setting up the config provider.
Setting up providers and things, right?
So this part shouldn't change. It's more about where you consume the actual configuration. Like, where do you read the configuration that says get my Cosmos DB connection string from what key? I guess is the question. Like, what?
Well, I guess we just search for what's the client type for Cosmos?
It's just a Cosmos DB client. Just
so
it's not to be.
Just search the code base for that and find out where you're.
Yeah.
Just do a control comma and.
Sorry. This is a switch that I use to check whether or not.
Yeah, that's fine.
Configuration endpoint. Oh, hold on. This is correct. There was something ugly that I need to get rid of. Anyways, here's my Cosmos DB. There's a switch somewhere with Cosmos DB that if I run localhost, I get to connect with it with a secret. And the problem is that I couldn't get the identity stuff up and running from my Visual Studio, so I had to. And in my cloud environment, it's running on the managed identity, so there's no secret involved.
Got it.
But now when I run this in an emulator, I can get rid of these secrets in its entirety.
Just so everyone knows, when you use the Aspire Cosmos DB integration, client integration, we do all that stuff that Edward just said for you for free. So when you run locally, we use the emulator with the key. When you run in the cloud, we use a managed identity configuration. If you choose to run Cosmos as a remote resource and you connect to it, we will also configure your local credential to access the remote storage. So we handle like all three configurations, all local, hybrid, and all cloud. And we do it in the most default secure way that someone has told us is secure by default. So I'm from the Netherlands. So you already got me when you said for free. That's one of the big value adds. All this code you have to figure out by hand. We do for you.
Would it be insane to comment this out and try and use it?
I was thinking the same thing.
Let's do it. Let's try.
See how far we can get.
You're on a branch, right? You're on a branch that you're not going to ruin your life if you.
Yeah, I am.
So find the color of this method.
But is it? Shouldn't I? Maddy dropped.
She said something, and then she.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Not this ship.
I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, made it to the bathroom.
Click on add.
Anyways,
and
is it? Yeah.
Find the color of add Cosmos DB. So like just that one reference in what's that thing called again? I forget now. Not shift F12.
But
find the one color of this method.
Find reference. Well, it's right there. One reference up the top.
Yeah,
code lens.
Code lens.
Code lens.
On the code lens, you see that one reference
above line 15.
Where your mouse is.
above line 15 in the code lens, which is the line of text above that method. Yeah.
Yeah.
Click on that.
Find that one color. Click on there. Okay. Comment that out.
All right, got it.
Is this in every single one of your services? So you have it in service defaults?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is referenced with all my services, but not actually all my services use Cosmos DB.
So what I would do to make this easier, install the client integration in the Spree View Data Cosmos package.
Project, you mean?
Project?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like Damian and like.
I was actually watching my own mouse cursor on the stream, which has latency.
That's what Maddy did like 2 weeks ago. She kept clicking the wrong thing.
So right click on that thing and then use the Aspire package.
Yeah, so this one, I'm going to get rid of this one.
Yeah.
No, keep it. What? No, keep it.
It's too late now. It's already, he's already done.
You cannot Control Z this one.
Right click on that thing and then hold on. Go to add.
Go to the add.
Go to add. And there's an Aspire package with no logo that we haven't fixed yet. And then find the Cosmos integration. You can search.
Just don't overtype it. Don't overtype it. Don't overtype it.
Yeah.
Add it to the end. There you go.
Rookie mistake. I almost made a rookie mistake.
Also, super important information to know. We don't have custom clients. We are using the actual Azure client. We just add configuration juice.
Yep. Configuration, hotel, resiliency.
So now in your service defaults, in the extensions class where you come to that code, add builder dot add Cosmos DB client. Add Azure Cosmos. Wait, what? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, there was a client container and database.
Yep. And then the name of the Cosmos. I think you call it Cosmos.
Right.
Yeah, there. Yeah, Cosmos. There you go. That one. Right, and then
is there a way to make this a constant? And
it's just a string, so you can do whatever you want with it. But you have to pass it in as a string.
What tend to do is they'll make a shared constants class.
Yeah.
And then they'll use it in the same.
You can do it as a linked file rather than have to create a whole other project. Just create as. Do you have a folder somewhere for shared CS files?
No.
Well, you can. So you can. What we would typically do is in the Visual Studio, unfortunately, doesn't have a good gesture for this to like set it up for the first time. It wants you to put things in projects, but you can have a CS file in a location that is not in a project, just in a folder called shared, and then you can link to that CS file from every project that you want to use it in. That way you're not adding yet another assembly, yet another dependency, yet another project you have to build.
Shared.
Yep. New file. Yep, perfect.
And then you can add that as a link, right?
Yep. Add existing item. And then you just have to make sure you don't click the add button. You have to add, use the little drop down.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
This one, select the file, add the drop down,
That's
and
it.
Then add as a link.
Yep.
This is how string.nt got made, by the way.
This is how what got made?
String.nt.
Look.
Yeah.
Go Copilot. Yeah. Nope.
No. It's a valiant attempt, but it is not what we wanted.
Nice try.
So you could probably make this static too. Not that it makes a huge difference if you're just going to use a bunch of constants fields on it. All right, I'm going to drop off and leave you now. I have to run to a prior engagement. So
have fun.
Good luck.
See you. Have a good weekend. He just had to go to the bathroom. He's
got time.
Too ashamed to admit it.
Yeah, Ashley, makes sense.
There you go. It's complaining.
Can you use it?
Did you add it as a shared constant to the app host too?
Aspire constants doesn't exist in the current context.
Did you share? Did you
You did it in one project. You got to do it in both projects, in the app host and in the service defaults.
You do?
Yeah. It's a.
Oh yeah. You're so right. You're so right. Well, as long as it matches, as long as the magic string matches.
The CS file needs a home. Like it's just a random CS file until you put it in the project. There you go.
That's fine.
I've used this a couple of times, and you keep on forgetting that you need to click this stupid
It's not very first class in VS because VS really wants projects.
Yeah, I mean, it enforces the giant project system that runs everything. There you go.
I hear your bias, Maddy. You said giant. Lean. You didn't say lean and mean.
You think the project system is lean and mean?
When you have one project.
Oh, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
That should be on the main card.
There you go. All right.
I'm gonna try to close my Signal because it's Signal, WhatsApp.
I know.
Teams.
Damian had the best tip ever when I got an ultra-wide monitor, which was get a really small portable monitor and put it below and use it for either screen sharing or chats, but not both. I was like, wow, expert.
Makes sense.
But now, how do I configure this one to use my online in the cloud Cosmos DB when it runs in the cloud environment?
That's the question. So the key here is to figure out what environment variable name you want to use both locally and in the cloud. Because all this does is it reads from a section called connection strings __ Cosmos. That's what this does.
Got it. So when I go to my Azure app configuration, it says doesn't work with the underscores, but the semicolons.
Semicolons or colons?
I don't know. What's the English word? 2 dots.
It's probably colon. It's colon. So that is the config separator. So we should. This is a good thing to go over. So the config system in .NET, it has the concept of a hierarchy. So you can say, I guess I could. Oh my god, let me find the live share. I could type something in a comment. Are we on the same screen? Yes, we are. Oh no, we're not. You are here. You are. Wait, do I have your thing? I don't. Test. Nope. Can you see that? Nope.
No, but Ed, if you go into live share and you click follow Fowler.
Wait, does that work?
No. Wait, it says you're not in there.
No, you're not in there.
Rejoin.
Oh. Am I there? No.
Rejoin.
It's joining live share session. Joining collaboration.
There we go. All right.
Did I join? It still says joining.
Yeah, you're in there. You're in the top right.
No, I can see. Okay, here. When it's not updated. Oh, did you save? That's why it's not saved yet. So normally in the config system, if you say something like, I want to get key foo, if you just say, configuration.get string foo, and I think you're blocking the actual thing.
Oh, sorry.
He's trying to show you his current one.
Oh,
yeah.
Go back.
It was on purpose, but
that's useful. Bring it back. I was
so this is what my app configuration says. So I need to change the name of the keys.
You don't have to. So this is good. So right now, what this is doing is you have your own structure for how you want to configure things, right? So you have X, Y, Z. And when you bind these to options, we will turn this into an object hierarchy. So you could have foo/bar, and if you have a class, I guess I can just do class foo. This is hard typing in comments. Class bar, and then there's a public bar to make it even more obscure. I guess this could be settings to make it less obscure. Settings bar value. So let's say you have something like this. Is that big enough? Get set. You could bind something like this, right? Settings top level class to settings to this value. I'm not explaining this properly. So this is the key, settings :bar, and the value is 1. What you're trying to bind to is this kind of object structure. I have a settings class that has a bar value, and the value is 1. I guess it should be dot value. right? This is kind of the schema for configuration where these are sections and they're separated by the config separator, which is colon. And then the value is like, could be anything, right? String, int, GUID, whatever else. And then options binds this hierarchy, this value, this structure to a class. So in Aspire, when you call with reference and you're passing settings into something, we use this schema. Connection strings underscore. So for Cosmos, it'll be like this, and this will be the connection string, right? Whatever format it's in. This is an environment variable. This gets translated into a configuration schema. I look like this. So when you are in iConfiguration, you can call get section on this section and get the value Cosmos. This schema where we use double underscores is a convention to turn this into the config separator. So when you use environment variables, it's translating this separator into colon. And it's because colon doesn't work on non-Windows machines in environment variables. So
I was familiar with that.
Exactly. So we just changed your configuration key for this thing. You don't have to do that. So you have a schema already, right? You have Azure services. Show me a schema. Cosmos
DB endpoint.
Cosmos DB endpoint. And does the endpoint become the local connection string in the local case? That same key?
Not actually the full connection string. It's only the endpoint URL.
Okay. So
because it doesn't need anything else, it uses managed identity.
So I think we should try to use your existing key just to see if we can not change much, and then we can always go back to this if it doesn't work. So there should be an overload of add Cosmos DB client that lets you basically take control of everything. I wonder if Eric is watching.
In Aspire?
Let me phone a friend. Huh? Yeah, so the call on line 55.
Yeah.
Oh, he's oof.
He's oof?
We're going to have to wing it.
Is Safia around?
Yeah, she didn't work on this part, though. Well, she actually tweeted it. She might know. So line 55, if you F12 on that method, there's like a ton of overloads in here.
Connection name, configure settings.
So when you pass in the name, that name basically says look for the connection string section, find the name of the connection, and use that as configuration.
Yeah,
there's also overloads.
Again, this one by the compiler resolves to Cosmos, and correct. In the Aspire app host, this one as well. So they match up, and that's why the connection will work in this situation.
Right. So this will work. The only question is when you deploy, you want it to keep working, right?
Yeah.
In theory. In theory.
Ideally.
Maybe you don't.
Hypothetically, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. No. Maybe sometimes.
So let's do this first. Let's make sure that this works locally, and then come back and then tweak it to show how we can configure different settings to make it like.
Got it. But I think we're pretty much set up to get it up and running locally, right?
That's right. Well, you're missing one thing. You have to pass the reference from the app host into the project that use it. So.
Oh, right.
You gotta with reference the.
Oh, he did it.
Oh, you did? Okay, so hold on. This almost is right. It's like
I even said wait for, so it waits for Cosmos DB to.
You got like 85%, which in America I think is a B+.
Hold on, is there a way?
It's a B, but that's fine.
Is that a B?
Yeah.
It's a B. See in the Caribbean,
it's small by now.
So You can pass in a reference to the container or the database or the Cosmos DB. You can pass any layer, but if you pass in the container, you have to then consume the container in the app host, if that makes sense. So
it does. So in this case, I need to have the
Cosmos.
Yeah, got it.
So I would just leave it there for now. We want the most incremental change before you adopt Aspire full blown.
Yeah.
So you say you're now promising that this works?
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't, I'll just leave. I'll leave immediately.
Just leave. Okay, so I configured
I'll blame Maddy
the organizations. I can configure this for the organizations API, which is this one.
And this one uses the Cosmos client, right? This one it will. Well,
not anymore.
If it doesn't work, what will fail? Is the question.
You, as a developer, you
full crash out. Full crash out. Besides that.
Is it? No, this is not. This is incorrect API. Hold on. This is organizations. So right here, organizations, and when you log in, it will go ahead and find the organizations you have, you're attached to as a user.
Perfect. So let's run it and then hit the endpoint that you think will fail.
I'll just go ahead and run it and run the front end app and then use the front end app, and it will probably either return something 200.
Yep.
Then you're a magician.
Or it'll fail horribly. And
he's really good at guessing.
And we won't talk about it, okay? This never happened. We never had this conversation.
Well, now Safi is watching, so you better not get it wrong because you'll have
delete
to
the video. It never happened.
Yeah. Oh. It's like just running. That's not right.
What? That's not right.
Organizers?
The thing is, you're waiting for it to fail. You're making me like feel as though you want it to fail. What you want is it to work.
Well, yeah, but if it doesn't work silently, that's the worst case scenario.
That's an error in the the app has beautiful.
Oh yeah, the API has errors. There we go.
Go back. Oh, to the resource view.
Yeah.
There's a 9 right next to. Yep. Click on that. Beautiful. 16 errors.
That's
definitely
exactly
not caused by our
code.
code.
To see.
Definitely not our fault. Let's see what the error is. So you could use Copilot and explain errors.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, he knew right where that button is too. That's how you know he's used it before.
Boom.
No.
500 somewhere. Not implemented exception. This to me looks like I have an idea, but I kind of want to see what this thing says. Scroll down. I guess it has the actual error there, which is not implemented exception. Whoa, that's a super complex error. I have a theory as to what it is, and it's like makes me super sad. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's showing like actual stuff, so that's what
it's good.
It didn't hallucinate it.
So it looks like the emulator does not support this feature.
Really?
Are you using some crazy Cosmos?
I'm not.
You're 100%.
No, I'm not.
You're using the most advanced feature on the planet.
It says unsupported join.
Are you using joins?
No, I'm not.
So, you're not?
No.
It says you are. Who's lying? I'm kidding.
Copilot.
Hallucinations. Who's hallucinations? My theory is that the preview emulator probably doesn't support this thing.
What is it? What is this thing?
Some kind of join.
There's no join. Organizers. Hold on.
Yeah,
Organizers.
what is that even?
Why? I was expecting. Oh, this is the post endpoint. So it's this endpoint. It will go ahead and create. So users will log in at the identity provider, and they will get an ID token. And then I use the front end. Okay, this is my ID token, fun stuff. But now I want to communicate with that API. Give me an access token. So the access token comes in. And the first thing that the front end does is a request to the backend to see, do you know this user? And if not, create it based on the information in the identity token.
Okay.
Right? And that request is failing.
Can you show the trace view in Aspire?
Oh, I was just going to debug. See what happens.
Okay.
Oh yeah, use like normal people tools.
I'm trying to show the product.
Fake Ray-Ban says
Normal people.
Link might work better for you than SQL in the new emulator, FYI. But
if you want to know what I would do here, if I was debugging, I'll just to share a technique. I would hit Control Alt E, and then it would break on all exceptions and let it run to the error, and it'll throw in the debugger.
Okay.
So you avoid stepping.
Control Alt E is what you just said?
that's the exception settings.
Huh.
So for some reason, it does return a user.
That part worked. Some kind of query is what's failing, not the actual creation activity. It seems like.
And it says, okay, update the name, whether or not what the email address is, whether or not it's verified, the URL for picture, and then update the entry.
Yeah, this call isn't failing.
It's organizations. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So hold on. So one thing we could speed up this whole flow. Go to the dashboard to show you end-to-end trace.
Yes.
So it should show you if you pull up the dashboard and click on traces.
Yep, on the left side. Yeah.
We can see which request failed. So you can see, the catch-all failed. That one. Look at that. The entire trace with the Dapper CLI, all the things.
That's actually so nice. I completely forgot about Dapper.
And then if you want, so if you want to zero in on a trace and then toggle between logs and traces, the upper right-hand corner has view logs. So you can see logs for one end-to-end call across multiple things.
Typed feed iterator, read next async.
Yeah, so what happens is if I now go to the Data Explorer for Cosmos DB, and it created one document. This is me as a user.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's it. But it wants an organization. It wants to attach me to an organization. So this request makes a round trip to the server and finds what organizations I am attached to as a user.
Okay.
And
if there are none, what happens?
It should return with list. It should return with an empty list.
Yeah.
So what's happening is your list operation is failing because it's hitting an unsupported query construct in Cosmos DB SQL.
This is the query.
Yep.
Maybe the any.
Oh.
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. If you want to see it in the debugger, you can step through this and have it show you.
Yeah.
The exception.
I have to open the door for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll be back in 1 second. You explain
Go ahead.
I'll take you off the screen, and you're still in the live share, Fowler, so you can do whatever you want, including run and stop the app.
Can I?
Yeah.
I can't use my hotkeys though. So it'll be like watching a toddler debug.
Yeah. How do I make his thing follow you? I don't know.
Legit in the debugger. That's nuts. Holy crap. what you really want to do here is use Control Alt E.
Yeah.
That brings up exception settings.
Yeah.
And then you can break on all exceptions, and
Yeah.
then it'll show you where the error is happening. But this is definitely because of a missing feature in the emulator.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%, 1,000%, 1,000%. So my guess is we may have to use the non-preview emulator, which
don't say anything to me.
Yeah, which is not great.
I'm back.
It's not great at all.
Welcome back. Welcome to the party.
So yeah, there's a party.
Oh God. Yeah, I guess, or could we work around?
I don't even know if it's like. It seems like it's the query, so I don't know if you could change the query to make it.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, because in the chat there was a suggestion, like possibly link might work better than, or yeah. What did I just say? Yeah, link would work better than SQL, maybe.
This is using link apparently.
Oh, it is.
But like,
yeah.
I mean, so let's see if this is the error.
Yeah.
So put a breakpoint right here.
Yep.
And let's just see if this is the problem. I guess in the before the call to like. Yeah, sure. Or in the, does this have a catch? Put it in the catch and see if it like goes there.
Oh, is this? Are you doing something with feeds?
Yeah, our feed's completely not working yet.
Yeah, feeds are not implemented except for reading for a document feed. So I'll send you guys the doc link. So that is kind of a pain to fix. Yeah, right now, not yet implemented. Our changing feeds. Where was the other ones? Reading collection or database feeds, but document feeds work. So hopefully that means that it'll get fixed soon.
Feed iterator.
Feeds.
Does anyone know Cosmos DB? I don't.
Fake Ray-Bans in the chat does.
Perfect.
Sort of.
Wait, so can we just fix this easily, or is this like a?
I don't know. I'm trying to look on their GitHub.
Should we just change the thing?
Change feed processor support request? No.
Undo your change and just like let's leave it as it was. We can try using the non-preview emulator and like just see what happens.
Oh yeah.
If we can get it working.
There is an issue that someone opened 3 days ago.
Oh no.
Somewhat related to this.
That sounds new. Going to the app host. Let's change the emulator.
Oh, ew. Never mind.
Line 23, comment out that entire line. That whole block you have. Yep. You can stop it.
Oh, wait, there might be a release. There might be a release that has preview of it from May 20th.
Oh, we should have the newest one.
I guess that's true.
Unless you had it before.
Change feed is supposedly there.
You have the newest thing that we have. So one thing you can do is change the image tag to see if it works. So go back to the app host. Yep. One thing to explain here, when you use a specific version of an Aspire integration, we hard code a version tag of the container being used, so things don't float around from run to run. Yeah. You can override the tag in that callback by doing like options.with image tag. So
or just dot with image tag. You don't have to do it in options.
You do, because this is in a callback where the
emulator is right. Sorry.
So on line 26, hit enter and add a third line there. We can try getting the latest emulator and see if that works.
Yeah.
Options.with image tag.
So this would be the one.
Latest. Just use latest and
Well,
see.
it's vnext dash preview is what they tag them.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think we do use the latest tag then.
This.
No, I think maybe there's more because this emulator does not have tags, right?
It's vnext preview.
But I think that's the default tag for the preview emulator. So I think then maybe
I have one. I have a release number if you want that.
So by default, when you call this method, we set the tag to vnext preview. So that will not change anything. So maybe your host. Maybe it's you are host. So one thing, I mean, so we could try to show off a feature. By the way, did you ever pull the emulator on your machine before? Have you ever used it?
Yeah.
You have?
Oh,
okay. So
delete it.
No, hold on. Oh. Let's show the feature. So delete with image tag and add options dot with image pull policy. And pass in always.
Am I about to? Is this isn't gonna work, right?
Yeah. So this will force us to pull a new image.
Did you see Maddy there? Oh, delete it.
Let's see. I mean, let's just see if it works, and if it doesn't, then we have to change to the non-preview emulator.
All right.
No, we have to wrap up so Ed can go be a dad at some point because it's late there.
Makes sense.
But
oh yeah, I forgot. It's super late. Okay, this is the last attempt to see if this will work.
Yeah, so last 5 minutes it will take the app host to pull the image.
Can we get it working in the last 5 minutes?
I'm nervous.
Is it pulling? Did it pull anything? Oh, hold on. Maybe because it's persistent, it didn't pull.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, it's persistent, so it hasn't been restarted yet. So you do definitely need to restart it.
It is way too fast.
Yeah, restart.
Yeah,
that's
too fast.
You can do it in the dashboard, by the way.
You could try, stopping it and restarting it.
Well, there's a restart button in the dropdown. You know.
Will that pull?
I don't know. It felt fast.
Look at the logs.
Yeah,
it's pulling. Perfect. Ooh, let's see if it works. It might work. It might work. It might work.
No. I'll send everyone the issue I was looking at.
Hold on.
So you can follow along at home with your friends. It was Fake Ray Ban said it was a 5-month-old image you had, so that is something.
Let's see. Work! I'm at work.
It's taking way too long.
Oh, your VS is blinking. Oh, your breakpoint!
User error. User
error. Continue.
Hit F5. Hit F5. No, don't step. Ah!
Another breakpoint.
It still failed.
Oh.
Again, not implemented.
Yeah, it's not implemented yet. You could ask Copilot to rewrite your query. Do not use change feeds. Rewrite the equivalent query, Copilot.
Huh.
But if this works, like...
Yeah, you're an agent, right? Yeah, okay.
Perfect agent mode. Be specific. Don't... give it the error too.
What?
Give it the error that you hit. It might like give it more context.
Change the select the query. This is the prompt. Hopefully good enough.
It might just not like the two where methods. Interesting.
Oh, that's also interesting.
I mean, we know the people who own this. We could just show them the video.
Everyone should get the Microsoft Docs, the Microsoft Learn MCP, by the way. It's so good.
It's good?
It actually reads the docs.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wait, so you don't have to anymore?
So I don't have to read the docs? No, I still read the docs.
Like, you can just, like, use the MCP server instead?
Oh, that's what you'll do. Oh, elaborate. Yeah, so I think it's literally called Learn MCP. Let me find the link.
It is.
But if you put it in VS or VS Code, in agent mode, when something needs to look something up that makes sense for the docs, the Learn MCP, which has like specific, context on that. Where is it? Sorry, I'm trying to Google and talk at the same time. That's never a good idea. When it tries to look something up in docs, it will actually call out to the MCP server instead of just trying to figure it out itself. And it's pretty lit. So this is the one I want.
This is not
I think this Copilot in agent mode experience is just a little bit better in VS Code.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, when it works, like now it's like stuck doing something.
Yeah, it's thinking too hard. But yeah, in VS Code, you like Control-Shift-P MCP or something, and there's it rips. Absolutely.
We didn't get it working. But
we will. I'll get back to you guys when I got it.
Yeah. My gut tells me don't change the query. You may have to change the emulator. If the query is easy to change, that's fine. We can follow up with the Cosmos team and try to. Yeah.
Do you have the time to just do one where instead of both wheres?
It's doing something.
It's doing something.
Well, it's going to use SQL directly, which seems worse, but let's see what happens. I guess.
Oh, it's editing.
Why is it so slow?
Max item count 1?
What are you doing, bro?
Did it just delete your where clause completely?
No, it's in a SQL query right here. The entity type, but
isn't it missing the second?
Oh, hold on. It's changing the entire file, not the.
Nice.
This one still uses
the array contains. Look at that. It's fancy. Building solution. That seems overkill.
Yeah. It seems like quite the change.
Is it? Oh, hold on.
Don't cancel it. Don't cancel. Oh.
Yeah. Stop it. That's good. That's good enough.
I'll keep this one.
Totally
YOLO. Yeah.
Not coding mentioned.
Right mouse click. This will be in production in a couple of minutes.
Right click publish, baby. Okay.
Dun.
Come on.
Okay.
This is like peak developer.
Yeah.
You don't want to use the app. You want to see it fail. You're looking for it to fail. You gotta like be more positive, Edward. You gotta like actually use the app and just assume it's gonna work.
Okay, YOLO.
Dashboard. If we see red, what is saying? Oh, different error.
That's exciting.
What?
For some reason. I can fix it quickly.
Yeah.
For some reason, it created another user with the same identity.
That's funny. Just delete it.
This is a good stress test. We got to fix your code.
Oh yeah, continue.
Yeah. This one works. It works.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Oh my.
Still 500.
Okay, that's okay.
Find the error in the dashboard.
Yeah, there we go.
Go to the trace. I guess the trace is probably more useful to see the error. And then view logs. I think it's the same error, maybe.
It's a different. It's still using feeds.
Go back. You can open up the thing as a proper visual text. Actually, if you click on that little icon, the right there on the very right,
that thing,
the glass, it'll show JSON. Yep, perfect.
Yeah. Fun facts.
It'll detect JSON and show it as a JSON error. Huh. What's it complain about? What's this thing? This is like a really interesting dump of the query execution. This is Cosmos?
Yeah. Telemetry handler. Oh.
Don't you love when people embed JSON in JSON and you can't read it?
Yeah.
No shade, Cosmos team.
Change feeds is different than feed iterator. Okay, yeah.
Oh, are you saying Copilot did the wrong thing? Did we give it the wrong instructions?
Change feeds is that you can trigger something whenever a document has changed and interact with that, or at least get notified when a document has changed.
Where's feed iterator? I don't even see feed iterator on their list.
No. I was just watching the chat on YouTube, so maybe someone has a good idea of what's going on, but no. But I do like the comments.
No, change feeds is implemented now. That is implemented as of the latest release. Feed iterator.
Yeah, but
I don't see.
Yeah, but the thing is that you don't have to jump up and down when you say delete it, Maddy.
I do. I get excited.
That's valuable comment.
Do I?
You know what? I'm going to fix this somehow, and then get back to you, Maddy, with what the actual fix was, and then
good.
Next week you can touch upon it.
Yeah, that sounds good. So okay, we didn't totally fail though. We did get the front end multi-repo situation, Aspirified.
Multi-repo, Angular front end, proxies, NPM, failing to compete JavaScript.
Yeah.
We got Cosmos emulator, client integration.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We did not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
We get a B minus.
Yeah, I take a B minus. Someone got bingo though, so that's good. And we actually don't currently have anyone planned for next week. So let me know, folks, if you or someone your friends and family want to be on the show. I need to make a form, but for now, just blue sky me or whatever. James Montemagno Fowler.
Yep.
Wants to come on with feedback flow. So we might have an internal tool that Fowler built and then threw away like 8 months ago, and someone else has now picked up, show up at some point.
Made it amazing.
But, Ed, thanks for sticking with us, and I hope you your kids didn't like burn down your house while you weren't watching them. But probably
my wife is about to take off, so I'll go.
Yeah, good. We'll see you at Techorama or whenever. And this preview will be working entirely Aspirified by then, so that's going to be perfect. But
it is already in production Aspirified.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But not with local emulators.
Not yet. We're gonna have to have you back in like 3 months when they fix this, and we're
yeah, that's awesome. Let's do that.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for joining. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. We will see you next week or the week after or something. And yeah. It's been real. Talk to you guys later.
For everyone online who just got my secret Cosmos DB key, I just rotated it.
Boom!
Oh, good, very good. Boom. Smart. The keys have been rotated. All right. See you guys.
Rotated.
Bye.
Have a great weekend, all.
Yeah.
Thank you.